Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cassandra Timothy. I serve as the councilwoman for the city of North Miami, and I also assist NHAEON as the communication lead for NOW. Thank you all for joining us this morning for our press conference held by several members of NHAEON. Just to give you all a brief overview of NHAEON, the organization. It was formulated in 2009. We currently have over 67 members serving in appointed and elected positions and have over 100 current and former members that serves on the NHAEON network. NHAEON is the largest network of Haitian American elected and appointed official organization in the United States. Our members represent millions of constituents all across the nation. NHAEON members are dedicated to supporting domestic policies, legislation, and issues affecting Haiti and Haitians living abroad. NHAEON is a 501c3, and it's a nonpartisan organization. Today's press conference will be led by our chairman, Dr. Alex Asome, who also serves as a councilman in the city of North Miami. Mr. Chairman.
Great. Thank you so much, Honorable Timothy, and good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I want to say before we start, a prayer for the victim of the recent earthquake that happened Saturday in Haiti, and also for our brothers and sisters that's going on in Afghanistan, as well as in Cuba, and all the stuff that's going on around the world. Again, good morning, everyone. As stated by my colleague, Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy, in 2009, NHAEON was first incorporated with a handful of Haitian American elected officials in only 5 states. We had just started to organizing ourselves as an organization when the terrible earthquake occurred in 2010. The earthquake struck our homeland, Haiti. NHAEON members, as we had started to get the organization together, we quickly worked with the Obama administration as well as with members of the congressional members of Congress, and as well as many friends on the Hill to make sure that Haiti get relief and help, and members from across the U.S. quickly. But something was missing in 2010, in our opinion. There was a piece that was very critical, which was the accountability piece, which as a result, 10 years later, we do not see a lot of result that happened from 10 years, from pledges and stuff that was made. But today, as stated, NHAEON has over 67 current Haitian American elected officials elected in 16 states throughout the entire United States, including the District of Columbia. And we are the largest organization of Haitian American elected, well, the only organization of Haitian American elected across the nation. We are equipped and well-versed and ready to take that part that we did not do in 2010, which is the accountability piece, which we are intend to do. This time, the members of the Haitian American elected officials, we are united. We are ready to assist the Biden administration as well as the Haitian government to make sure that this critical piece of accountability works, and it works for Haiti and the people of Haiti. So we have stepped up to take the leadership role to make sure that Haiti gets a different outcome than 2010. So the purpose of this press conference today is to lay out our leadership role and what we're going to do as an organization moving forward in the next few years. As we know, this disaster is not going to be resolved in the next few weeks, in the next few days. It's a step-by-step process, but we know it's critical now in phase 1 as we are trying to save lives. But this is a recovery process, which will hopefully, as we rebuild Haiti, a stronger Haiti, and we will be part of that. So part of our goal, critical goal, is 3-step. And step number 1, NHAEON and its members will play a critical role as an auditor to ensure that funds that are promised to Haiti from the US and also from the international community are received. Because in 2010, a lot of promise was made to Haiti and it was not kept. So that's number one. Number two, NHAEON gonna monitor all of the organization, including the Haitian government, in terms of funds that are received from international community, from the US, and from organizations in the US to ensure that whatever progress, whatever that is set to do, that they are done at least in a transparency way and in an open way where everyone will be able to see. And hopefully we will have a better result. And number three, NHAEON has also decided to help in assisting in collecting some funds that will go to Haiti. And we have, as an organization, pledged that we will not collect 1 cent. And I repeat again, we will not collect 1 cent for administrative fees, for whatever fees, in terms of what will be going to Haiti. We do not have footprint in Haiti. We do not have organization in Haiti. Every dollar that we received, 100% of those funds, we will vet organizations, members from all over the country, in all of our states and other states where we do not have members. Folks could go on our website, they could call different members, and we are working with the Haitian government, with the ambassadors and different members of Congress, where they could give us or list organizations where we will vet organizations, whatever that we raise, and we will disperse our funds that we receive. But collecting money is not our main goal. Our main goal are the top 2 points that we mentioned. I am just talking about the last point, which we have our chair of fundraising, State Representative Marie Woodson, and Councilman from North Miami Beach Vice Chair Michael Joseph, who will go in a little bit detail into about the collection. But our pledge, not 1 cent, will go to NHAEON. And how are we going to do that? We will be establishing a transparency portal. And this portal is going to be open to the public. Starting today, everybody could go on our site, which is www.neon.org, where they could see what is giving. As of now, we have received total amount raised, and there will be a graph. But the portal that we are talking about is going to be, of course, more detailed, and it's going to be a separate more entity with more detail. But as of now, you're going to see a graph as we are keep going, which is going to have the total amount received, the average daily donation, and the numbers of donors. And once we select whichever organizations that we have, and nobody in NHAEON, we are not endorsing no one organization. Every organization is doing something in Haiti that is claim they're doing something in Haiti. We will make sure we vet them and they will get our funds. Again, that is not our big purpose. Again, as of now, we have received $2,340 as of now. And we will let Rep. Woodson and Co-Chair Joseph goes into the notion. Going into the last part of my statement, in terms of the accountability piece, we will monitor all organizations within this transparency portal. And we're going to ask all of the organization from across the country, the portal that which we will be releasing in the upcoming days, to report themselves similar to what we are doing in terms of what they receive and in terms of what it will do in Haiti. And the public will be able to view, and the public will be able to ask questions and hopefully account those organizations that are taking money. Because we all remember what happened in 2010. Again, we did not have 60 some odd elected officials in office, but today we do. And this is what we're gonna do in terms of accountability. But the accountability piece will not only start with organization, the Haitian government will also be accountable for. So they will be also required to report themselves to the portal. And later on, we will be, if you follow NHAEON on our social media, on our website, we will make sure whatever money that is allocated to them, because if we are going to make sure that they receive the money, because the bigger part is not the money getting here, is when the money get to Haiti. We got to make sure that whatever projects that is set to do, that the project is done. And we will have more detail in terms of how that process is going to look. And we're looking to partner with any and every organization who has ideas in terms of accountability, because this is not something that we think we will do by ourselves. This is a collaboratively effort, because we are a group of elected officials and we are leaders of all organizations, and we represent over 2 million plus Haitian Americans across the country, and Haitian Americans and constituents that we represent across the country. Again, I want to say, stay please connected with NHAEON and follow up for updates. But one thing we want to be clear and want to be crystal clear, NHAEON will serve as an auditor in terms of organizations and with the Haitian government, collecting and what's deliverable, that is being services that's supposed to be done for Haiti, and how those services are done when it comes to delivery. Again, thank you. And let's keep Haiti, people of Afghanistan, of Cuba, and in fact, all over the world, because in all this that's happening, I think we all are forgetting we are in the middle of a pandemic, and we must not forget that. Again, thank you and good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you all again for joining us and for your outpouring of support towards the Haitian community in Haiti. I apologize in advance if you hear some noise. In addition to being North Miami's elected city clerk, I'm also the supervising attorney of a local nonprofit organization, and we've been doing free clinics throughout the community for the past 6 months for Venezuela. And now we're at Notre Dame providing assistance to the Haitian community and Notre Dame d'Haïti Church. So excuse any noise that you may hear. My name is Vanessa Joseph, and I am a daughter of Haiti, and specifically a daughter of the south of Haiti, which was most affected. And I'm blessed to say that through God's grace, my relatives were spared a deadly fate because they woke up early to go for a walk. And as they did so, they started to see their own home and homes around the neighborhood start to crumble. And so it's really hard to celebrate the safety and the lives of my own family when we all know that not everyone was fortunate. And immediately after, they went and did an assessment in the neighborhood, and the need was great. I mean, to watch the street come apart and people be swallowed by the ground is a very difficult thing to witness. So as we think about what we need to do moving forward, we need to unite, just as NHAEON and its members have, to provide meaningful, necessary, and that assistance which is critical to the rebuilding of Haiti, not only now, but also in the future. And so while I thank all of you for thinking of me and my family during these difficult times, I ask you to please also think about those who have lost their loved ones, their most prized possessions, and those who have lost their sense of hope. For them, we have a duty to maintain hope, courage, and strength. And we also must know that in spite of it all, Haiti will rise. Kimberly, would you like to speak as the chair of the Relief Committee?
Yes, sorry, I was just trying to unmute myself. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kimberly Jean-Pierre, and I'm a state assembly member from New York. And I want to thank everyone for joining us again this morning, and to our chair and to everyone and to all elected officials who are part of NHAEON. It's really great that we have this institution that we did not have in 2010. And through the chair and everyone, all the members of NHAEON, we have created this Haiti relief committee that will look at the immediate needs and the forthgoing long-term needs of Haiti, as we know that it's going to take a long time to rebuild Haiti. I'm a daughter of two Haitian immigrants from the north, but my children's father is from the south, and we have seen hard hit how our families are not in their homes or not in their homes, some who have lost their families. So please, as Vanessa said, keep your prayers with those who have lost. We've seen one woman who lost 4 children. So there is going to be a lot of support needed, not only monetarily, not only food, medical supplies, but mental health support. So through this committee, we will be looking at the immediate and long-term needs for the committee. And we have created, as you will hear later, a compliance committee that will look to create guidelines to make sure that we create this portal, and I'm sure the chair will go further detail into it, so we can create accountability. So we are not where we were in 2010, and it's important that we create a level of transparency and accountability. And I just want to say that in 2010, we collected so many goods to send to Haiti, right here in the United States, and other countries, but the cost to send these goods was very expensive, and we can use those dollars to purchase those same goods such as water, food, right in Haiti, and we can help build the economy, the local economy in Haiti. So as you think of the people in Haiti and you think of your prayers are very much needed, and when you think of your support that you want to give to Haiti, whether it be through collecting goods, just understand how those goods get to Haiti is very costly. And when they get to Haiti, how are they dispensed and where are they dispensed? Some roads, not having roads, and how do we build the local small businesses in Haiti? And how do we really support building the long term of Haiti is building the economy. So I asked you to think of those things when you think of ways to support the people of Haiti. Thank you. I think the next.
State Rep Woodson.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and I would like to thank you also for the work that you have been doing. And at this time, I would ask everyone to continue to keep you and our brothers and sisters in Haiti in our prayers, you and your family, as I know that this has impacted you even more so than a lot of other people. Mr. Chair, I would like to thank you so much for your leadership during this difficult time. You have been leading NHAEON you have taken this organization to the next level, and we are grateful and thankful to you at this time for pulling all of us together in order for us to do the best that we can for our brothers and sisters in Haiti. As we know, when one Haitian is hurt, we all are hurt. So thank you so much. I would like to thank all my colleagues as well who have been working very hard in order for us to regroup and really come up with some tangible solutions in order to address the issues that our brothers and sisters have faced throughout other, not really pandemic, but throughout other crises that have been going in Haiti. We have together come as a national organization in order to say, hey, we are going to take charge in order to make sure that our brothers and sisters get their fair share. And I also would like to thank all elected officials, organizations, friends of Haiti, brothers and sisters who have really responded to the call at this time for their prayers, their kind words, and also their contribution to this cause. As a daughter of Haiti, a sister to my Haitian brothers and sisters who continue to suffer from one atrocity to another, I stand with you. I want you to know that NHAEON is standing. As we said, we have your back at this time because we want to make sure that you get some help, the help that you need during this time. I also stand with everyone who have really come to help during this time. And I'm telling you, as a Haitian American, I know that when things happen, when you get a community who stand with you, you feel a little bit better, no matter how hard it gets. But most of all, I stand with the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network, NHAEON, to lend our support, to help our homeland, because this is our homeland where either we were born or our parents were born. And when one is hurt, like I mentioned, we all are hurt. So we are standing at this time to say enough is enough. As we know, in 2010, there were a lot of money that were raised in order to help Haiti. And at this time, Haiti is still trying to recuperate from the 2010 earthquake. And we cannot see where this money went, the money that was collected. And this is why NHAEON, as elected officials, we say that we are going to stand and make sure every single dollar that is collected during this process goes to our brothers and sisters, go to the assistance of our brothers and sisters. And the chair has clearly stated our goal at this time is not really to just collect the money, but to make sure that we are accountable, to make sure that the money goes to where it's supposed to go. In 2010, we did not have the good brothers and sisters that we have at the table right now. But we do have elected officials, Haitian elected officials and other officials who are clearly capable of handling the process of getting the money and disperse the money to organizations that have been on the ground, that have proven track records to deliver. Because it's two things. We have to have deliverables and we have to have outcomes as well when the money is allocated to an organization. And we will do that together. We were elected to do a job here, but we are also Haitian Americans. We can't forget our homeland, and the same good type of leadership that we are providing here, we can have that same leadership in order to make sure the funds are fairly distributed and also the people who receive the fund are accountable for them. As I mentioned, there would be no administrative fee coming to NHAEON. NHAEON would make sure that every single dollar go to Haiti. We want to make it clear, accountability is one. There is no way that you don't have check and balances when you're receiving people's money. We have to have accountability, and the compliance piece, as the chair stated, is going to be handled fairly and equitably. So we are here. I have also one of my colleagues. I don't want to take too much time because one of my other colleagues will be talking also. He's one of the member in the committee, and we would make sure that all the T's, all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. And we would have a portal open where you can go and see every single information that you would need. You can always go to www.NHAEON.org to get all the reports, and any piece of information that you need will be on the portal. And I would not keep repeating the same thing and over because I'm all about accountability. As a former public administrator, I know what accountability is. None of us want our name to be on the news for funds that were not distributed or funds that cannot be accounted for. We are leaders and we are going to act accordingly in order to make sure organizations that are on the ground organizations that have proven themselves to be able to deliver receive the funding, and our brothers and sisters will be able to benefit from the funding. Thank you.
Councilmember Farah Lewis.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm Councilmember Farah Lewis. I represent the 45th Council District in Brooklyn in New York City. And I want to thank Chairman Dezume for his leadership and for banding together the 67 elected officials throughout this country as we seek to support our beloved. I believe that we're striving to refrain from making the same mistakes of the past and seek to execute distinct goals to ensure that there is an entity that monitors and holds accountable organizations that are pledged funds to support Haiti, and that those funds that are being received, those contributions that are being received can actually be reported. I believe right now transparency is paramount, and no longer should we allow organizations that say that they want to provide services to Haiti, that they create these lucrative pipelines for themselves off the backs of our Haitian people. In our current fragile state, we need to make sure that we're doing our due diligence for our people. So my colleagues later on will share our robust compliance initiative that I believe is the best for the time that we're in right now. In New York, my colleagues and I have joined forces to collect medical supplies for mothers and small children and babies, but most importantly, medical supplies. We believe that this is the most critical need right now in Haiti that we can do here from New York City to transport and ship to Haiti regarding the earthquake. So we're working with Mayor de Blasio here in New York City to provide also grief counseling for those impacted. I get calls all the time, and my colleagues get calls all the time from families here in New York who state that they have anxiety, they have depression, because it's trauma that's compounded by the 2010 earthquake, the 2016 hurricane, the coups, the cholera outbreaks, so on and so on and so on. So what we're experiencing as a community due to these crises in Haiti also opens a Pandora box for us to also deal with issues with mental health. So we're trying to provide those services here in New York, but we believe that compliance and transparency right now is important. I believe that is the step in the right direction to ensure that we're achieving better outcomes so that the resources can get to the people on the grounds during their time of need. So thank you again, Chairman, for your leadership, and I look forward to continuing working with all of you. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Clyde Vannell. I'm the New York State Assembly member for the 33rd Assembly District in Queens, New York. And I am excited to be here with NHAEON. NHAEON, as we stated, is the biggest and oldest organization with a collection of Haitian American elected officials from as far north as Massachusetts, as far south as Florida, and as far west as Arizona. We represent districts all across the United States that includes all Americans. We happen to be Haitian American. And at this time, we have a responsibility to make sure that we help our motherland of Haiti. With this earthquake of 2021, which rings memories of the earthquake of 2010, we have to make sure that in the blessings of all of the experience and talents that we have, and I've been humbled to work with all of these great elected officials from across the country to see all the talents that they bring, that we're going to work together to make sure that we try to help Haiti through this process and through the future. One of the major things that we're going to do and that we're working on has been stated here many times, is that we are working on making sure that we have a full, robust auditing and compliance organization for the funds and resources that come into Haiti. What are the principles that we're going to focus on? We're focused on three major principles. One is trust, 2, accountability, 3, transparency. Now, why is that important? It's important to make sure that we have to make sure that we help capacity building for Haiti. We have to make sure that Haiti can grow in every field of human endeavor. We also have to make sure that for the institutions, for the organizations across the world that are friends of Haiti, that are giving resources and money to Haiti, we have to make sure that there's trust that the resources that you give go to the proper place. We have to make sure that for the people of Haiti, that they properly receive the money, the resources in order to help and build and grow. Now, keep in mind, trust, accountability, and transparency is something not unique to Haiti that's needed, right? We have those systems in place in New York. We have those systems in place in the United States. We have to make sure that all of the good tools, all of the best practices that we use across the world, we use that also in Haiti. We want to make sure that why is it important? We will also identify efficiencies, right? We want to make sure that the resources are being used efficiently in Haiti. Now, the potential of this is great. We're doing this where appropriate. This is being applied toward charity now, toward helping, making sure that we address this emergency situation. But the transparency, accountability, and trust also will lend itself to the business sector, would also lend itself to investments in Haiti, right? People will not invest in Haiti if there's no trust, if there's no accountability, and we have to make sure that we do that. Another thing that's important about these efforts is that this is a Haitian-based, Haitian-centric solution. The organization, the institutions, and the people that were the auditors and the attorneys and the accountants that will be working on these and the volunteers that will be working on this would be Haitian American, mostly, and Haitians in Haiti to work in conjunction to make sure that this trust is built, that we make sure that these principles are abided by. We are excited. Now, this is not going to be easy work. It's not going to turn around in a day. And it's not sexy work. It's hard. It's difficult. But we are going to make sure we work on it. And this is not a Haitian American thing. And this is not the NHAEON working on this and imposing this on top of Haiti. We will be working with Haiti to make sure that this is done properly and done correctly. So we are honored to do so. And we look forward to working with all of you moving forward. The next speaker you'll hear from is Michael Joseph, the commissioner from the city of North Miami Beach.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. My name is Michael Joseph from the great city of North Miami Beach, and I'm here to close and basically summarize or express the same sentiments as my colleagues. Our goal is not to be a hindrance to relief, but to partner with other organizations to do what is right for all of the people affected in Haiti. And another aspect of that is to make sure that our country that we do love and our ancestors from does not continue to promulgate a charity type of state. We're trying to uplift our community. We're trying to push forward with the fact of that we can step up and do what's right and show transparency and accountability. And that's why we're all stepping up, all these elected officials. And one state Assemblywoman Jean-Pierre mentioned is that we're trying to do it the right way. In the past, we saw goods being collected here in the United States being shipped over or being shipped over to Haiti, and that would create a disaster for its fragile economy. We're trying to make sure that Haiti can get back on its feet as quickly as possible in the most methodical way. So that being said, I'm gonna keep it real brief and get to the nitty gritty and saying, please go. I'm letting everybody know to please go to NHAEON. It's NHAEON.org/2021-Haiti-relief. We're asking everyone to please go donate, partner with us, allow us to be an additional conduit in assisting the people that are most affected in country in Haiti, and to do it the right way. We do not want to make the mistakes of the past, We're trying to move forward. This is a new generation, a new way of thinking. This has never been done before. We're elected officials, but we're nonpartisan. We have different ideals, but what we do care about most of all is to make sure Haiti gets back on its feet, and it's done the right way, the just way, and the most accountable way, and it's transparent. That's the key word. That's the main theme behind this entire effort that we're pulling off here, to make it transparent. We understand there's other NGOs, other organizations that want to have that same sentiment. They want to provide, but at the same time, it's one thing of saying it, another thing of doing it. And we're providing that. We're going to be providing that information about how transparent we are, live and updated. So we're asking to partner with organizations. This is about a partnership, not about a hindrance, but a hand to work together as friends of Haiti, as children of Haiti. So I want to close with that and to say, please go out to our website, donate, stay updated on what's being done at least from our portal, and to see who's partnering up with us, see who's being vetted, and really doing what's right for Haiti and for the people that's most affected, who are calling and crying out right now that need help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. And I want to thank all of my colleagues and everyone for attending. We're going to entertain a couple of questions. But before we do so, I want to say our goal, again, I think we mentioned, is not so much for the third goal that Michael was mentioning in terms of the donation, because that's all fine and dandy. And I think Chairman Vanel mentioned, we do not have any imprint in Haiti. We don't have any organizations in Haiti. So we're going to be impartial, and we're going to pick one organization over the other. And NHAEON is not endorsing one organization within the community or not. So we are saying, we are welcoming and we are encouraging every organization in the upcoming days. We're going to be reaching out to them as we are developing the portal, so that they could come out and report their information in terms of what they have received, in terms of what we are doing. So starting today, this afternoon, you will go on our site, again, NHAEON.org, which is NHAEON .org, and see just a graph, but the graph is just a basic graph. But the more detailed site, which Vanel and Chairman Vanel and his committee, the compliance and fundraising and all that in that committee, gonna have more details. Stay with NHAEON, follow up in terms of the developments and everything. But we do want folks to know, because the most important part is not necessarily what happens if you give your money to us. Let's take NHAEON, for example, because we already tell you, we're gonna tell you every dollar that we received, and the donors, the numbers of donors, and the number of the amount that is received. And once we decide, or folks decided who gets what, we're gonna share that list with you and vet it. But that's not the important part, really. The important part is what happened to that money once it get to Haiti. And that also goes for the Haitian government, because I really want to stress that part, because I know folks might want to talk about, the folks receiving money, and there's a lot of popping up organizations, folks that have not done stuff in Haiti. And that's why we say we are very clear. We are all American elected officials here. We are not Haitian officials. We do not have any organization or footprint in Haiti. However, we represent everybody, great organizations throughout the entire country that's doing great work in Haiti, and we support all of them. But we got to make sure that they do what they say they're going to do with whatever that they receive, because we know folks gonna give to organizations that they trust, and we are encouraging folks to do research and give organizations that you trust, that you would like to give funds to. But we're gonna encourage them, and we want you to encourage them to come to NHAEON in the next few days as we develop this portal, and make sure that they report themselves and monitor, because this portal will be daily updated in the evenings, where you will see what's happened. As of today, you will see a graph a basic graph on our site just to show you, but it will be a much more complex, as we talked about, in terms of what that portal going to look like. Because again, the problem starts once the money gets to Haiti, what happened? And that's where Chairman Vanel and the committee will be coming forth in the upcoming days, and we will be releasing more details. Follow up with NHAEON. Keep us on follow up on social media and visit our site for more plans. Again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and we are open for some questions. We have another engagement, so we will take a few questions. So if you do have questions, I know Honorable Timothy said you could post them in the chat, and we will definitely get back with you no later than this afternoon. But we do now have some questions for the media, and Madam Secretary, please monitor anyone who has their hands up. We will take 5 questions, and then we will take it in the order of which the hands were raised. Thank you.
Absolutely. We have a question from the Miami Times. How does the organization plan to hold the Haitian government accountable? What will that look like? And will that also be through the portal?
Great question. Thank you so much. Yes, the portal will be developed as we are talking to developers, the folks that we have. As you know, this development, things are developing on an hourly basis. We were talking about establishing, as we were talking about, transparency for us. And the more we talk to leaders from across the country, it was suggest that we take the step, and we know our goal was to make sure that Haiti receives the money that Haiti promised for, and we were going to try to make sure the government was accountable for. But folks said, no, you also need to make sure organizations that are popping up. I don't think it needs to be NHAEON, because I think we are safe, because everybody's elected and nobody wants to be like Rep. Woodson said, name is anything. And we're going to be very transparent. We do not want a dime to go for administrative services. That's us, and we're not asking any organizations to do that because they are working. However, we decided to do that. What we are asking them to do, we will be reaching out, asking them to please report themselves, and it's going to be very detailed in terms of what you received on a daily basis. And it could be something where you will be able to very, very easy send in, and it'll be automatically updated on the sheet, similar to reports that you would get in terms of downloading. For those of you who are familiar with Florida, how we used to, at the beginning of the pandemic, how we used to get the daily reports of the COVID cases. So something like that we are envisioning, where whoever's reporting is something people could be very transparency. This organization said they raised this money, but that's the easy part. I honestly believe, talking to Chairman Vanel, that's the easy part, because the money received here is fine. We already said we don't have nothing in Haiti. We're giving it to organizations. So we give it to organizations. Then what happened? Because that's where the trouble comes in. What happens and how does that look? Well, how that looks, what we envision right now is a portal that folks, we know the electricity might be an issue in Haiti, and there might be some great organization on the ground that are doing great work that does not have the access or the accessibility to report themselves through this portal. So we're going to try to make it very, very friendly in terms of doing things on WhatsApp, where they could updates, but there'll be benchmarks, there'll be different projects. For example, if someone said they received $1,000, or they received $1,000 to build a bridge, I'm just giving an example. We will be able to say this bridge, what's the time frame? They say 3 months. You will be able to see a scale in that 3 months progress. So it will be progress report. The whole world will watch, and it will be reports and pictures and stuff, and that will be up on that organization. So we will serve as that central monitor, and we will do that as well as for the Haitian government. So it will not only be for organization, we will also do it for organization locally, because again, we are not, we don't have any thing in Haiti. So we're giving it to folks who said they're going to do stuff in Haiti. And that's the real issue here. It's not necessarily the organization here. That portal going to have both phases, the collection of money here and also the real work, which is the monitoring of the money in Haiti in terms of the government and all of these organizations across the country that are receiving money. And quite frankly, we are grateful. A lot of folks are opening their hearts and giving to Haiti, which they always have. And we are very, very thankful. And we want to stress that. We are not saying do not give. That's not what we say. In fact, we are encouraging people to give. We are just going to make sure we monitor those dollars. Thank you.
WLRN asks, will this be a long-term portal, as in, will it be permanent?
Talking to the chairman, yes. As far as we know, it will be live in terms of the projects, the stuff that's going on, ongoing, in terms of how many years it will be a site you have to go through NHAEON.org and click and get the disclaimer, and you'll go through the portal. So yes, it will be something that folks will be able to go through and then download the PDF file, the Excel, whatever organization. Again, it's key. That's why we are partnering. We are not choosing or saying who to give money to, not to give money to. That is not the purpose. Our purpose is to make sure that whoever received money, we would like for it to be, not all over the place. But unfortunately, we all know realistically that's not going to happen. We are encouraging them though, and we will make sure that they are reporting themselves, including any money the UN allocated to Haiti for rebuilding. And as we could see the palace, we know that there was promise made there. That money never received in Haiti. So that's why the first point of our job as the elected officials, as NHAEON, is to make sure that money made, promise made, pledges made is kept, and we're going to advocate to make sure that Haiti received that. Thank you.
So I have a hand up by Lloyd Phillips, but before that, Miami Times also asked another question. In the spirit of accountability and making sure that donations are actually being sent to Haiti, are there any tips NHAEON can offer on how to spot relief scams or fraudulent charities that may be trying to take advantage of the situation in Haiti?
Clyde, I have no, I'm not an expert, so anybody on the panel, please.
You want me to answer that?
Yes,
I have some thoughts on that as well.
Do you want to go, Mike, or you want me to go?
I'll just be real quick, Chair. There's a couple of ways you can do your research, look at the history of a particular organization, look how long they've been in country, find out what relationships they currently have, and a very important aspect, look to see if they have a sheet, what we're proposing here, a way of seeing where the money has been spent, what pledges have been made. That's how you verify these organizations. NHAEON is taking, we're taking that step from the onset of providing a portal saying, hey, if you want to know what's going on from the partnerships that we're able to garner, go on our website, see if a pledge is made, you can see where that money's going towards. That's basically for any organization, basically for any non-for-profit. Just make sure they can provide you a sheet or some type of documentation where that money is going to, as well as what their history is and what type of partnerships that you can that they can reference as being an organization to be trusted. Thank you, Chairwoman. I just wanted to say those thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. And if I may add to that, exactly what you said, you have a lot of Haitian friends that you trust. Like NHAEON has just shown what we have, the accountability that we have in place, as well as the accountability and also the backup that we have in order to make sure we verify everything that was done. So you can go to NHAEON and make the donations, because with NHAEON you are safe. Your money is going to go to a good cause. But if you choose to go to another one, make sure you have someone that you trust. Just like I have a lot of people who are reaching out to me, asking me what organization should they donate to. because you know so many people are standing ready to make money on the back of Haiti. We saw it in 2010, and like we said, we don't want a repeat of that. This is why NHAEON has a lot to do, but we felt this is important. This cause, we took it at heart, and we are ready to put 100% in it in order to make sure that your money is put into good use. So either you go to NHAEON, you put the money, but if you really want to donate to another organization, make sure that you have a trusted friend that you could ask, is this a reputable one? Or go online, like Michael said, and check the history of that organization before you can even give any money. Thank you.
Thank you. And the final question is from Lloyd Phillips.
Hi, good morning. My name is Lloyd Phillips. I'm the two-term president of the Caribbean and Floridian Association of Central Florida. You can visit our website. It's www.cafainc.org. That's www.cafainc.org. Our hearts go out to our friends of Haiti. We realize and understand the magnitude of the earthquake and the horrific loss of lives. So for that, our membership are deeply, deeply aligned with those of Haiti who are doing what's needed and necessary to alleviate some of the angst, the hurt, and the pain of the survivors, their family and friends of Haiti. Personally, I was born in Guyana. Our association, CAFA, it's made up of members from all across the Caribbean. Haiti, being a member of CARICOM, is in our hearts. We will be making a donation. And the reason for me being on here today is to hear exactly what's being presented. I like what I've heard. Our main concerns are trust, accountability, transparency, and verification. I've heard what Representative Woodson elucidated. I like that in regards to transparency and verification. I also like what I heard from Dr. Alix Desalimi. I like the transparency. When you go on our website, you'll see we also had hosted the Bahamian Relief Fund, which we here in Central Florida, along with Congressman Darren Soto, Mayor Jose Alvarez, and other stakeholders, we did a relief fund for the Bahamian people. Our association, CAFA, will be doing the same for Haiti. And this is why I wanted to be on here today to hear what's being presented. We are very transparent.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lloyd Phillips, for your comment.
Yes, thank you so very much. Madam Secretary, should I do closing?
Yes, absolutely. We have another engagement.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Phillip, thank you so much, a member of the media. Thank you so much. And I think Mr. Phillips said it at the core. One thing about the donation platform, DonorBox, we decided to stick with DonorBox because we were talking about changing it, but it's so transparent and it's made for non-for-profit because we never got into this. And I want to be very transparent because within NHAEON, because we're not an organization of taking in funds and some members, we struggle in terms of doing it. But we decided that, and as chair, I decided that it was important that we do that. And we do it because we want it to be we have to do something for Haiti because we don't have no stake. We don't have no organization that we want to be able to say we know, because our job, without taking any money, let's just say we don't receive any money. Our job when talking to the Haitian government, which we've been in touch with the Biden administration on a daily basis, as well as the Haitian government. And one of the goals that they ask us to do is to help them with monitoring what's going on. And we decided with organizations from all across the country, because we have 16 states, 60 something current members, because we have a lot of active non-members, because I don't want them to get upset and my head get chopped off after this press conference, but we are over 100 and some odd members, and they are very, very well doing the work that we as officials don't do. And we decided, we made the hard decision to do collect, because we don't have any organization in Haiti, because whatever that we collect, we're gonna give it to organizations. So in the portal, I wanna be very clear, there is a designation button. So if you designate $100 for whatever that organization may be, it could be an organization here in America, that money is not subject to us going to whatever. That money is going directly to that organization, and it's going to be reflected on the portal when we put out our report. And you're going to know, because we'll be coming on the website every day to see what we raised. And so once the report is ready to disperse, you will see X number of dollars is going to this. And any member, any of the 100 and some plus members could go, and they could go to our back panel, because we have, security thing. We cannot, it's not public record. We cannot release people's information and stuff. We won't do that. But any of these members who are elected, who are members of NHAEON, will be able to, if there's any question, but there would not be, because we want to make it very crystal clear. That organization, because we have organizations who call us, say they're going to do that, they will get that money directly. That's not what we're talking about. In fact, collecting and disperse is not a problem here, because again, we say we're not taking not even one dime for administrative services. Our accounting, we have accounting firm from all across the country who have called us, said they will donate, they will volunteer their time, and we are appreciative of them. We have folks who have said they were big organizations, national organizations, who have reached out and said they will help us if we can, because it's a community effort to do this. And I think Clyde Vannell said it best. Chairman Vannell said it, in terms of, it's not a one NHAEON thing, it's everybody we're gonna need in terms of getting Haiti back into check. But we wanna be very clear, it's the other funds that folks did not designate somewhere. We will vet the other organizations, and whatever that committee is, whoever sits on that committee from NHAEON, and then whatever that they say we get, because we don't know what we're getting, but that's a little small piece to it. Because the real problem comes in, let's just say we give $100 to this organization. What happened to that $100 when it gets to Haiti? And that's what we are here for. Because even if you're taking out, we're not receiving no money, we still have a problem when the money gets to Haiti. So that's the twofold part. And that's why we are here, because as elected officials, we got 60, 100 and some odd people within our organizations. We cannot say, give it to this organization. And we want to be very impartial, because we all want to get reelected. I'm not putting politics in there, but I'm just being very honest and open, because we have to be, as a credible organization, we have to be honest and open. So that's why we made the decision. We will do it, but we will do it in a way where the public will scrutinize and make sure that we do what we do. Again, thank you, everyone. Keep Haiti and the rest of the world in prayer, because we need it. And give to organization, as Representative Woodson said, that you trust, and your friends said you trust. But you could always reach out to us, and we're gonna revamp, and we're gonna do what we do. Stay and follow NHAEON, and we will do this together to rebuild Haiti. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.